probably the last webinar of the 2014 show. We are here today to help you draw the last little bit out of the show that you can get with probably the most valuable tool that we've got. My name is Perry Reynolds, and I'm joined here by Nancy Michael.
Hello.
And over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to talk to you about the tool that we think is probably the most valuable piece of information that you get as a result of your participating in the show, and I think can give you the most give you the most value on a year-round and a year-over-year basis. We will take your questions during the webinar. We're happy to do it. We will also post our email addresses and phone numbers again at the end of this, so if you think of a question afterwards, you can certainly call us or email us afterwards. We'd be happy to help you make sure that you're taking maximum advantage of this tool. But if you want to ask a question during the chat, we have someone listening in who will stop us, who will monitor your questions, might even answer some of them, but then we'll send them through to us if at the appropriate time. So here's a place to get out your pencils and start writing. This is the link that you go to download the buyer and media lists. housewares.org/show/directory_login.aspx. And again, we think that this tool is your most valuable tool, and we're going to tell you why and how to use it in a few minutes, but I'm stalling for time so you have time to write it down. If for some reason you didn't write it down or you want to find out how to navigate there, this is where you start. You go to housewares.org, you click on the Show tab, then you click on the Exhibitor tab, then you go to the right and you find the Exhibitor Marketing Kit tab. Click on that, you come to the Marketing Kit page, which is housewares.org/marketing. You click on the Access the Marketing Kit, and the Attract Buyers is the second item down, and you can click on that. And you will get to the place where we just gave you the that link, but in case you want to navigate to it later, this is the way to navigate to it. And when you get there, this is what the page looks like. This seems pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a second, but you'll need your company ID and your 2015 seniority number, which, Nancy, that's included in the information that they got for the space application. Is that right?
Yes. So you should have received an email mid-April, somewhere between like the 16th and the 18th they went out. And perhaps there's another person in your company that may have received it, but on that email was your ID number and your new seniority number. Whatever seniority number you were using for the 2014 show is now not accurate. So that's where you would find that information in that email. It is also included in the Space App mailing that you just should have received. In the box on the front of that mailing would have your seniority number and your user ID number. And if you cannot find your access codes, feel free to either click on that link and email Dawn Whitman, and she can give it to you, or call or email your sales manager, and we can look that up for you in just a few seconds.
And I think it's probably Nancy's job, but I'm going to tell you that note on here in red that the link expires on July 1st for 2014 exhibitors. The link to the same list for 2015 exhibitors will be available again in November. But it will be, if you haven't downloaded already, now's the time to download it. To sort of reiterate, you'll need your company ID, your 2015 seniority number. Dawn can help you. Your show sales manager can help you with the downloading the list or with any of your information. But this will be this is your entree to what I think is probably the most valuable tool you can imagine. As I think I've told some of you before, we used to buy lists to market for the show, and now we find that this is the best list in the industry. And if you keep it year over year, I think you'll find that you can create a pretty robust list of industry buyers, and we're going to teach you how to nail down the exact buyers you're looking for in the list here in just a second. When you get to that screen, this is what when you click through, and this is what that screen looks like. There are 3 lists available in 2 formats. My favorite is Excel. There are some ways in which the Commodity Limited format is more meaningful for some of your tasks, but for the tasks for which we use it and I use it, we have it in Excel as well. There are 3 files, as I mentioned. The 2014 U.S. buyers. This is every buyer who registered for the show. The 2014 non-U.S. attendees, and this is every non-U.S. attendee who registered for the show. We do edit these lists. The reason it takes us several weeks to get it to you after the show is because we want to make certain that we're giving you accurate information, and we do edit it and make sure that we take a look at it. We also look at the 2014 news media. You may not need this list, but your PR person or your, in some cases, your marketing team would benefit from this. If you have an outside PR firm, I encourage you to share this list with them. Each of these 3 lists is probably the most focused list of people in our industry who are interested in the houseware space. So when you open that list up, what do you get? Well, you get a very broad list of characteristics. As I mentioned, we give you virtually everything that they told us about themselves when they registered. We give you their retail class of trade. We ask them to tell us what their job function is. We'll show you what those options are in a minute. And we ask them what products they're coming to the show to buy. And this is what some of that looks like. Retail class of trade, these are the classes of trade that we ask them to tell us where they belong. Generally speaking, in mass merchants, we capture the discount retailers like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross. Department stores are the more traditional department stores, which it certainly includes Macy's and its ilk. Drug, supermarket, and convenience stores are all in one sortation. That includes people that we know that are distributors to drug and supermarket, as well as the individual store operators themselves. Non-retail is a category that we added several years ago because we found out that there are people coming to the show like Kraft Foods that comes to the show to source products for their demonstrations in stores. So we include a category like that for people that actually don't have a retail store but use the show for sourcing products for other uses. Museum stores, fairly new classification for us. Grown from almost nothing to, as you'll see, a double handful of folks. I'm going to guess that if you're interested in gift stores, you'll also be interested in museum stores. We'll talk about how to sort them out in a minute. Hotel, restaurant, caterer, cooking school. We get a significant number of both both local and both national hotel, restaurant, caterer, cooking school folks who come to the show. I know that Marriott and Hyatt's in their sourcing groups. American Hotel Register, some of the Edward Don, some of the Cisco, some of the national sourcing chains for hotels and restaurants are there as well. You'll find those names either there or under wholesale distributor, depending on how they see themselves best. I mentioned gift stores, and you'll find that the gift store number is a dramatically high number and up this year significantly, so you want to mind that for your gift store context. Home furnishings and appliances would include people like Best Buy and Apt if you sell to the local Chicago superstore. Those kinds of folks. Also, anybody involved in home decorating would be in there as well. Multi-store specialty would be Bed Bath. Bed Bath, I was going to say Linens and Things. Bed Bath and those kinds of chains. Linens and Things actually still does come to the store because they have an online presence, but it's not what it used to be. Hardware and Home Center includes every hardware store, including independents and those who distribute to them. We include all of them in that list. Gourmet food stores are what it says. If people consider themselves a gourmet food store as opposed to a regular food store, we will include them here, even though some of the regular supermarkets would consider themselves gourmet food stores. But we'll have a number, particularly independents in this group, that I think you'll find interesting places to go look for new customers. Non-store and catalog is everybody who sells in some kind of generally paper form or does direct home solicitation of consumers. Internet is what it says, and it is probably over the last 5 years the fastest growing category in the show of buyers. Warehouse clubs, fairly limited number of them, but we certainly think that some of you want to sort them out so that you might want to give them to, if you have a special salesperson who's responsible for clubs, you can certainly sort that list out and have them follow up on every one. Variety One Price includes primarily dollar stores, but there are some other, folks in there as well. We find a number of independent dollar stores come to the show, and people who actually still call themselves variety stores. Independent specialty would include virtually every kitchenware store, as well as some other more product-focused stores, but primarily kitchen. Most of your gourmet catalog and HTI stores will be in this category. Garden and patio stores, not many, but some do come to the show, and I know some of you may have reps who focus on garden and patio stores. This would be a great chance for you to have them take a look at those stores. Wholesaler and distributor, slightly more complex category for us. There are an awful lot of people who consider themselves distributors, and I would invite you to look into this category with some caution, but some of you may be looking for a particular distributor. Some of them are captive to retailers, some of them are independent, some of them sell on other channels than Housewares, but come to the show to look for products that they feel are appropriate for them. And then the importer-exporter category, which is a fairly broad-based category, and it might include people that you might want to look to sell your products outside the United States. The next sortation tool is job function, and these are the areas that we ask them to choose among: buyer, buying assistant, merchandise manager, corporate executive, owner, planner, logistics person, manager, and other. We do have a few that fall into other. I'm not sure what we didn't cover in this, but occasionally husband and wife teams are part of a buying group, and we get one of them as the buyer and one of them as the other. The corporate executive list, be aware that many corporate executives don't want to tell us they're corporate executives. As a consequence, they may just call themselves buyers, so the list may require some additional sort of working through. There are people who come from Bed Bath & Beyond who really are executives who call themselves buyers. But if you're searching by the company name, you'll certainly find them more easily. The last one of the major defining categories is products of interest. You'll find this on the far right of the spreadsheet. And for each of the categories that the buyer is interested in, there will be a W or a Y or a mark in that category. It allows you to sort out all the buyers who want household electrics or kitchen electrics or any of the categories up there. We have expanded this list about as far as I think we can possibly expand it, and still expect them to make some reasonable use of it when they come to the website. And believe it or not, people do spend some time thinking about the products they're there at the show to buy, and do click these categories out. This would, if you've been following along, theoretically, you could make a list now of everybody who's an owner of an independent kitchen store who came to the show to buy kitchen tools and accessories, theoretically. And the way that sortation works, we did not include in our webinar, but I'm sure you have somebody on your staff who is an expert on sortation. But I would encourage you to, if there is no one, to contact Nancy or me, and we'd be happy to help you get started on sorting it out. There's a magic box on the upper left-hand corner of the Excel sheet that, if you click on it, will highlight the entire sheet, and that allows you to begin to do your sortation. And you can sort as many layers deep as you wish and create custom lists You can create custom lists in many different ways. I mentioned already, you may have reps you want to send the list to. You can sort by state for U.S. You can sort by country for non-U.S. And those will help. The media, of course, does not have any of that sortation because we don't ask them any of those questions. But you can certainly sort by U.S. or non-U.S. media. But I would encourage you, even after you sort, and I mentioned this earlier, there are people that don't always represent themselves in a way that you would be familiar with. And I would encourage you to scan the list for others, even after you've sorted out the kind of specific people that you're looking for, because you may find somebody buried down there that is important to you that for some reason or another decided that they wanted to be less obvious on the list. Those are probably the exact same people who are walking around the show with their badge turned backwards. So I would encourage you to scan the entire list. There's some 14,000 U.S. names on that list and some 6,000 non-U.S. names. So I know there's work involved here, but again, this is the richest source of information we think we offer you as a benefit of exhibiting at the show.
We also have some basic lists pre-sorted. We don't post those anywhere, but if you're in touch with your sales manager and you want a list of all independent specialty, we can easily pull that list and send it to you. So just know there are certain pre-sorts available. You can just contact your sales manager and ask those questions, and we can pull for you what we have. And kind of an addendum to what Perry was just saying about if you find someone buried under a different name, we spend a great amount of time cleaning the data as best we can. So if you do come across a buyer that's identified incorrectly on these lists, it would be very helpful for you to shoot us an email so we can straighten it out in our system. And just know that we do spend quite a bit of time, verifying and doing the best job we can so you get a clean list of buyers to pursue.
Sure. I think Nancy mentioned earlier that you got this list in mid-April. And the reason you got it in mid-April is that it takes us about 3 weeks, and it takes us about a week to get the list from the registration company after the show. But we do spend that 2.5 or 3 weeks making sure that you get the right data. But there's one question that we always get, and I'll address it directly if I might here. We do not share emails. This is at the request of the buyers. We meet with 2 retail advisory groups each year at the show, the larger retailers and more specialty and independent focused retailers. They have steadfastly told us that they are not they're not interested in us sharing their emails. They're just afraid that that they're going to be spammed by everybody in the business, even if it's not the right contact. So we are not currently sharing their emails with you. There are, however, 2 ways to get their email addresses at the show. One of them is through Buyer Connect in-booth scanning. If you had either the desktop model or the handheld model, you got a recap of all of the buyers that you scanned right after the show, literally the middle of the week after the show. I believe it came on a Wednesday or a Thursday. You should also be aware that the buyers got similar lists, were told what booths they were scanned in, so that they could actually initiate some of the follow-up as well. And we'll continue that next year. In fact, we're working on being able to give you an app for next year to allow you to scan with an iPhone or any other device that you might have with you that has a scanning capability, as well as the handheld. In which case, with the app device, the leads will be available immediately. When we send out the marketing kit in late October, early November, you'll see what those options are for next year. What we hope we'll be able to get that done for you for next year to make it even simpler for you. One other way to get their email address is through new product showcase scans. This list was sent in conjunction with the Buyer Connect, that is the in-booth scanning list, the week after the show. The buyers, if you had a product in the new product showcase, one of the benefits of that is the buyers get to scan that product. We print out a list of the products they scan for them before they leave the buyers clubs, where the new product showcases are housed, so that they can go more easily find the products they are interested in. Often they don't make it to your booth. That's why we share those new product showcase scans with you. We also share with the buyers after the show a reminder of the products they scanned in the new product showcase in case they never got to come visit you. So those are the two ways that you can get emails through the system, but through the buyer list, sadly, not currently available. I mentioned the media list a couple of times, but not in any kind of depth. It is, of course, every media person who registered for the show. We go to great lengths to make certain that they really are editors and not people trying to sell you advertising. We have a very rigorous system of screening those people out. As some of you know, we offer them trade guest badges, not media badges, for the show. You can be pretty certain that the people that you see on that list are real editors. If we have erred in any way, to echo what Nancy said about buyers misrepresenting themselves, please let us know, because we'd be happy to change that. If anybody who is masquerading as media is trying to sell you something, they're not media. So we would want very much for you to be able to use all these lists. The international lists, I will tell you that we had significant growth in international retailers this year, and even if you have the 2013 list, I think you're going to find a much bigger list this year. We are doing a much better job of reaching out to and capturing international key buyers. Many of them are at the show. I think you'll find that the South American attendance at the show was very strong. If you're not doing business internationally, we have some other tools that will help you do business internationally, and I'd be happy to help you with those at any time, including our global forum, which is a forum educational forum especially for retailers, or excuse me, for suppliers who want to sell internationally, that's coming up next month in Chicago on the 17th and 18th of June, where we'll have presentations from a Russian retailer, a Russian distributor, a Brazilian retailer, China retailer, a retailer from Central Europe. I mean, we are really going to a retailer from Kuwait. So there are opportunities to learn, and as we bring those people to forums like ours, they also continue to find additional value in the show and come to the show as well. So I would encourage you to use all of those lists to do business. And if you've got any questions, again, with any of these lists, we'll put our email addresses back up at the end, so you can ask us a question along the way. One last mention is a mention of Housewares Connect 365. This is in the same general vicinity on our website as the buyer list is. This is how you go in and update your listing. You have to use the same username and password to update your listing there. Housewares Connect 365 had almost 600,000 searches on it during the show window, and we'll have over 1 million in the year. I would encourage you to make sure that your listing is up to date, have the most recent videos, the most recent products. We send buyers there, we send media there. If you're going to participate in our press event next month, I would encourage you, or excuse me, early next month, I think week after next, or next week. I would encourage you to take the video that we shoot and put that there. If you have any other videos, I saw an excellent video from an exhibitor just yesterday that we encourage them to put on Housewares Connect 365. There's plenty of traffic there. And again, if you've got any problems with Housewares Connect 365, just contact Nancy, me, your show sales manager. We'd be happy to help you figure out how to get yourself up there and make yourself better known. In many cases, our link for your company on Housewares Connect 365 will come back in a Google search earlier than your listing will, because we optimize very heavily. So we'd encourage you to make sure that you look your best there. Again, this is our contact information, email and phone. We are available to you much of the time, and we'd be very happy to answer your questions about anything relating to the 2014 show, the 2015 show, anything relating to the buyer list. But I would encourage you, if you haven't downloaded it yet, and I'm always astonished of the we probably have just slightly less than 50% of those who can download the list who have done it. And again, I think it's, as I've mentioned before, we used to buy lists, and now we don't buy lists because this is the best list. So we'd encourage you to make sure you download it. And again, if you've got any questions, just let us know.
I have a few housekeeping items before we end. If you joined us for the webinars we hosted for the 2014 show, we talked a bit about your post-show follow-up and that you should have a plan for that. Of course, the buyer list is a big part of that post-show follow-up, to reach out to buyers that you did not see at the show, to recreate some of the buyers you did see at the show who you may have not gotten contact information with or got lost in your freight or however you may not have it. So we encourage you to really use this list. Again, there are no emails on there, so we did talk a bit about using the archaic fax machine to get people's attention, because most people don't fax anymore. And then, of course, all the phone numbers are on there, so it's a great telemarketing tool for you to go and reach those buyers. The media list, Debbie Teshi, who is the head of our PR team here, will always comment that don't blitz the media. They, be selective on the media that you may want to contact that's appropriate for your product. You have a much better, rate of getting noticed and promoted that way versus just sending a press release to everyone on that media list, because, like everything, they're categorized as well and hit specific products. We will resume our marketing webinars starting in November. Will be the first full webinar in which we'll cover H365, all of the marketing kit opportunities, and how to attract media. So stay tuned for that in your Housewares Smart Brief and emails from your sales managers. You'll get notifications on those. And then you all should have received your space application at this time. We've gone to completely online space app. No paper app required anymore. You just need to fill it out online. There is a deadline date of July 2nd to return those, to either reserve your space from last year or to be considered for a new space. That all has to be in by July 2nd if you're to be included in the first round of that. The other thing is our discounted rate, which would be $14 a square foot this year. The time you can take advantage of that is from now until July 2nd. After July 2nd, that rate will go up to $14.50 per square foot. We really encourage you to get in your space applications as soon as you can. There's places on there to note if you're interested in expansion and relocation and all of those things. Make sure you put on there any competitors you do not want to be near. So that is the proverbial. Proverbial Bible, if you will, that the sales managers live, die, and breathe by. And everyone is around for you to answer questions. So feel free. We're here at your disposal at any time.
And if you really have a, oh, sure.
Would you suggest that a manufacturer send the buyer list to their PR firm, even though it doesn't include emails, or just send the media list to the PR firm?
I would suggest that that the media list be the one that they use. The buyers, generally speaking, are more easily influenced by what they read in the press than they are by direct communication. Although, having said that, there may be some key senior people on those buyer lists that they might want to include, but I don't think it needs to be a blanket conclusion. A couple of other things. One last thing. If there's somebody that's not on that list, but it's on your list, if they are a key buyer in your world, but we haven't yet reached out to them or we haven't yet captured them as an attendee at the show, please let me know. I'd be happy to make a personal introduction, to call them personally, to reach out to them personally, to invite them to the show. We are, as some of you may know from some of our media after the show, we actually had a record number of buyers scanned at the show this year, but there's always room for us to grow, and we certainly want to do that. So if you've got anybody that you think needs to be at the show, whether they're U.S. or non-U.S., just email me, and I'll be happy to reach out to them personally and make sure that we at least understand why they're not there. We do a significant amount of that, and we find it to be very informative for us. Any other questions, Debbie?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, if you're really bored to tears or have somebody else in your company that would like to hear this presentation, it is being recorded, and it, along with the PowerPoint that you've been looking at, will be available on our website shortly. We'll send the information about that to each of you who signed up for the webinar, so that you'll be able to pass that along to anybody on your team that might need to hear it. I'd be happy to, as would Nancy, be happy to answer any of your questions, as we said several times, not just now and not just about this topic, but about any topic that comes to your mind. As most of you know, we're a not-for-profit trade association. Our job is to support the industry and make sure buyers and sellers get the media